It's not our job to walk away. It's their job to be human,
Mhm.
take responsibility for their actions, and start paying child support at the moment of conception.
I'm a
Because,
little afraid to go down that eggs are human
oh
uh
God, no,
rabbit
no,
hole, but I
no.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like if you're being forced to carry a child, the state at minimum should be paying your bills.
But exactly. But if we're going down this road, and especially in those states where the road has already been paved, how is that not a conversation? Where is the male responsibility in any of this? It doesn't exist. It all falls on the woman, always, always and forever. So tell me again why we should just, you know, give it up.
Why we should just volunteer.
Yeah, just, become ovens, little Betty Crocker bake sets and, let's make a baby. No, because everything falls on her, including the sickness, including the fatigue, including the preeclampsia, including, the gestational diabetes,
Mhm,
including the hemorrhoids.
mhm.
Let's just be honest. There's a lot of stuff that goes on it that no man would ever tolerate,
No.
ever. My God, they fall apart with a head cold. Am I lying? But we're built for pain. There's a point where we've had enough. And I think we're kind of there, and it makes people uncomfortable to
Mhm.
assert our individual choices. And when we do that, you know, why can't it just be an individual choice? Why does it always have to be a blanket?
So they're looking at these, bro-magnons. They're looking at the population and like when the US turned chart of who's what age, and our official our top we're going to reach top population at like 2080 at the
Mhm.
rate we're going now. And then it's going to start dropping. It's going to start dropping like it's already dropping in Japan. And we're going to have a lot more older people than younger people. And it's going to be an adjustment. And if you're in business and you can't possibly get enough money and you just keep needing more and more and more, you've got to wonder about who's going to be buying my crap in 50 years. Not that I mean, maybe they'll be still alive. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to be alive in 50 years. They're worried about their own selfish interests and they want to have a growing population and they're blaming us and women who are younger than us for not providing them with people to go to war for them, people to buy their and it's wrong for us to recognize that this is not the path that we want our our human race to be going down. We do need fewer people on this planet. We do need better use of our resources. And frankly, if they really wanted a lot of consumers in 50 years, they would be paying more taxes. They'd be funding our schools. They'd be making sure every child gets a lunch. They would be making it very easy for women to get health care so that we wouldn't have to pay a premium for it and we could have babies whenever we had the opportunity. And it wouldn't be a kneecapping, catastrophic economic event in our lives, especially if we're single. So I don't really have a lot of sympathy for people who are freaking out about this because I think we have enough people on this planet right now, and I don't think that we need to keep growing and growing and growing. I think we need to figure out a new way of being. And I think that women are used to changing tasks more often. We're wired differently. For us, it's just like, oh, well, that's just the next step. For
Mhm.
men, it's like, oh no, that we can't use the same formula we already have.
Right.
And now we're going to panic wildly. And so I think that kind of shows a little bit of the gender difference where they're just like, oh no, how can we be dominant? How can we be relevant in every conversation? How can we be not the king if things change, you know? Is that gonna take away our power?
Well,
Um,
imagine if you paid everybody a living wage,
Imagine.
and everybody had parental leave
Hmm.
and, good health care. Imagine that, because the
Hmm.
choices would be simpler.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah.
Because if I had a living wage, guaranteed,
Hmm.
if I knew that no matter what might go wrong with the pregnancy, I'd be taken care of,
Hmm.
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe it would have been a different choice. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I don't regret my choice. If you want a guaranteed success in 50 years, maybe, I don't know, treat your employees well,
right.
give them an opportunity. Because I point my finger at Amazon because it was the biggest company we saw blow up, like in real time. He goes on Oprah selling books, and the next thing you know, we're getting everything sent to our door from him. To me, he had the opportunity to really show American business how it could be done. Treat your employees very well, pay them all a living wage, set them on the path to home ownership, pay for college,
Give them free
set them
stock in
up
their
for retirement.
401k. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just do it like it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
where you actually cared about your employees. And maybe that was a fantasy, because I know that when I was a kid in the 70s, that's when all the pensions went away
Uh-huh.
because it saved companies money. So, people that were about ready to get their gold watch were, the rug was pulled out from them overnight. And it was horrible. But there was the opportunity to say that you could work in my warehouse, you could sweep the floors, and you would be able to buy a home, get big sick, send your kids to college, retire well, move up in the company. How about that? A path forward. That was an opportunity. Do you know how excited I would be to have that opportunity to create that kind of utopia? Oh my God. Like, that's the fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
is to, you know, create something that blows up, that changes the world, and all you do is hoard cash and put your penis in outer space. If you want people to be horny, take the pressure off.
Mm-hmm.
If you want people getting laid,
Mm-hmm.
put them in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want, I mean, the perfect way to have children is to actually be in love and want to build a life together. So maybe create that for them, for your fellow citizen. And let's start with universal health care. That's the easiest way to do it. And let's start with good education,
Mm-hmm.
clean air and clean water, and not just a living wage,
Mm-hmm.
but a thriving wage. Because, you can do all the math to get people to eke by on $20 an hour. Bullshit. You can't here in Los Angeles.
Mm-mm.
And everybody's up in arms that, coffee makers might be making $35 an hour. Well, yeah, because if we kept up with inflation for the minimum wage, that's about what it would be, kids. That's about what it would be. So we're all up in arms about somebody we think is less than making more than, and you're not getting it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the betterment of all. What we're saying is everybody should be making that. Everybody should be making that. And the reason why it's possible is because we have all these people that are just hoarding money that could be paying that. And then you'd want to go work for them. And then you'd be so happy at the end of the day, you'd want to have sex and have babies. So,
And you'd see a future. You'd see a way to do it, and
yes.
you wouldn't be terrified.
And that's just it. I was just going to say that. I mean, for me, it's not sending a kid to college or, how to pay the mortgage. It's, what if I get big sick?
Mm-hmm.
How would I handle that? What's my safety net? Because it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like a boo-hoo thing. It's So I have to be, again, the responsibility is mine. I put myself in this situation, right? So how do I manage?
Right.
But if we look at this as what we want for the world, what we want for our society, it's a wage in which you can thrive.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity to advance, no matter where you work or how you got there or whatever. We don't do that, and they don't want us to.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as we're broke and overworked and exhausted and scared, we're just going to go with the flow.
Well, you don't have a choice. There's only so
Don't.
many hours in the day. You spend most of them working.
And then you come home to kids
Or not.
or
And if you
not.
don't, you're a horrible person.
Totally horrible person. But nobody's looking at the big picture. It's just like, give it up, girls. Be a trad wife, birth as many kids as you possibly can, because that's your role in society. And it's nauseating. It's not. And
Well, and there aren't very many. I mean, I don't know of anybody that makes such great money that they can afford to have a wife at home having children.
anybody who does, I want to see their credit report because they are in debt up to their eyeballs. Seriously, I because you're not living debt free,
Mhm.
just as you said. It's when I see somebody living these perfect lives, I'm like, you paying off that Amex every month, kid? I don't think so. So I'm curious about that
Mhm.
because, you know, we're very much a fake it till you make it, give the best appearances. But and what it used to be is you don't want to be in debt. My grandparents,
Mhm.
debt was like the worst thing you could have.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from a mortgage, and even that you wanted to pay off as soon as possible. Aside from a mortgage, like all of our cars were used and paid
Mhm.
cash.
Mhm.
You didn't have a car loan. You didn't, you just, you lived within your means. That's right up there with disposable income, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that. I swear every day is a winding road.
The worst thing ever is the curse. May you live in interesting times.
Oh, we signed up for that. I
Yeah, it's
swear
like,
to God.
please give me some
Every
bullshit.
every successive year, like pretty much we kind of nailed it down to 2017. Things really started going off the rails in our
Oh no,
personal
when Bowie
professional
died.
lives. Yeah, exactly. That was 2016, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think so.
Bowie
Yeah,
dies and our boyfriend Alan Rickman is like every year it's like it's saying to the prior year, hold my beer. And it's
exactly.
getting worse every time. And I'm
And
just
do you
like,
remember in the 90s how good we had it?
hmm yeah. It was
Worst thing that
even kind of
happened?
boring sometimes.
Yeah, give me some boring. I'll take some
Yeah.
boring.